Hi, I'm Cathy. You may recognize my hands from previous videos, but you probably don't recognize my face. I am not comfortable in front of a camera, and it has taken a pandemic for me to finally film facing the camera. In April, I offered a class to my customers called my a la carte card class. And they were to match up with me 4 different stamp sets. And I had 4 people sign up, and it took 14 projects to get us to match up so that they could get their kits. So I have a lot of projects that are going to be coming up on my channel in the next couple of days. This introduction will be on each and every one of them, but it will, down in the bottom here, show you the minute mark of where you can skip this introduction and go on to the card making. They will be put in a playlist called April a la carte card class. That's so hard to say. And each one will have that description, the person who signed up for the card, and the stamp set. And that way, as you're making your projects, you can just go to your 4 projects. Those of you that are just watching to get inspiration, you're welcome to look at any and all of them. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you stay healthy and safe during this pandemic, and hope that we can all begin to get back together stamping very soon. So this card is for Leanne, and it's using the Crafting Forever stamp set. I will also be using the layering circles and the stitched shapes, and I'll be using this second largest circle. Get the cardstock out here. I've got a piece of blueberry bushel that is retiring, and this is 8.5 by 5.5. A piece of coastal cabana, which is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and I've cut the scallop circle out of the center of it. I've got a piece of the Follow Your Art DSP, which is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. On my sample, and Leanne, your kit will have this one here. This is just, I only had a few of these, so this is another idea. I've got a piece of Whisper White for the inside of the card, which is 4 by 5.5 inches. And I had a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inches as well that I stamped all of these onto and then cut them out using my scan and cut. Leanne, what I did for you is I cut them out, and you're going to try and line them up as best as you can and stamp onto the cuts. They will be, I put a couple of them in there of each for you, so that just in case you don't do a good job on the first one, you'll have another one. And if that doesn't work for you, you can always, once we're out of self-isolation, you can come on by and cut them after you stamp them. I've got a piece of the DSP for the inside, which is, let's see, 3/4 inch by 4 for the inside. I think this one might be 1 inch. I've got a little piece of this one of the Follow Your Art, and this will be for the pot, and this measures 1.5 inches by 2 inches. Here's my stitch circle, which will also be cut out of this piece of 4 by 5 1/4. And then finally, I have a piece of the Pressed Petals DSP that is 1.5 inches by 4 inches. Got a couple of other things here. A little tiny, tiny itty bitty scrap of the Calypso Coral, and then one of the glitter enamel dots that is retiring as well. So once you stamp these pieces here, you're going to color them using your inks. And what I've got is Flirty Flamingo, Balmy Blue, Crumb Cake, and Early Espresso. Leanne, I noted on which inks you have. You don't have the Balmy Blue, but you do have Dapper Denim, which is a retired color. And I think that'll work in combination with the Blueberry Bushel and instead of the Balmy Blue. So let's see. Oh, and I need black Memento ink for the pot. So let's start with the little pot. And if you just ink up just the pot portion and stamp it on this piece here, and then you're going to be cutting that out. Also, so for coloring these, I just used an aqua painter and the inks, and you can just randomly color them however you want. So your blue will be a little deeper, Leanne, than mine, which is fine, or just get a lot more water and blend it out until it gets a lot more watery and you'll get a lighter color. So we'll color these in. And then on the scissors, and I'm not going to do all of this on camera just because it'll take a long time. I'm just going to press in on even my Memento and get a little ink and a little bit of water and water it down. And that's how I'm getting the gray for my scissors. And then I used the Early Espresso for the handles. To cut out the center of the handles, I just used a paper piercer to open that up. And I'm not finding my paper piercer at the moment, so I'm just going to use this little pokey tool. And put a couple of holes in there, and then take my snips and slowly work my way around like this until I get to that black, and then work my way around this way. Now you can either do the espresso, which I did on this sample, or you could do like this one, and I did in the black, which matches our snips. Your choice. So you're going to color all those, and you're going to cut this piece out. We'll stamp the sentiment on here, just like that, near the top. And that's going to be glued down onto this. Just like that. And a few dimensionals. And somewhere that little, there it is. This little guy will go on there like that. Okay, so that piece is ready. So let's go ahead and finish up working on the front. We're going to adhere this down. And there's just a little tiny, like 1/16 around each area. And that will go on the front of the card. And then this one will go along the bottom here. And then you'll be placing this here, your pot piece that's going to be cut out. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, and put some adhesive on that. And that just gets glued right down onto here. And that is going to be on dimensionals as well. Get a couple of those. This will be up in the top. Like that. Now this little piece here, all you're going to be doing is cutting, let's move that stuff out of the way, just little pieces to be your scrap. So just cut it at any angle you want. Your scraps don't have to be the same. And then I would glue down my scissors. So let's use this set. And I'm going to use liquid glue for this one. They're just going to go like that. And then I'll just put a couple of drops in a couple of spots here and place my cardstock scraps. Just like that. And then finally, we'll be putting this piece, as soon as we color it, down here, and that will also be on dimensionals. And I just put a mini dimensional here and one up here, and that will go just like that. Okay? So on the inside of the card, I stamped the pot with the brushes, and again you'll be coloring that. And I want to make sure that it's just down where you're seeing the brushes. So I'm actually going to come a little bit lower, and if you need to, you can mark it, measure up and mark, but I'm just going to eyeball it. And then I'll glue this down after I color that. And then what I gave you, Leanne, is a piece of this Bermuda Bay striped ribbon. But another idea is, if you don't have that, is this washi tape, which is the Follow Your Art washi tape that coordinates. And that could go on the inside there. So that's how to finish the inside of that card. So I know I'm not doing all of that on camera, and I hope you don't mind. But I thought it would be better to have this video be shorter. So here's the card and the inside of the card. So enjoy that kit.